All right. I want to make one thing very clear about this idea that Forrest Fenn told people the location to the treasure. He blabbed. It's not any of the inner circle. I should make this very clear. I'm glad I thought of this. I just turned on the fan. I'm glad I thought as well as turn on the fan. It's not any of the inner circle I'm talking about. Just let's make that very clear. It's not Doug Preston. It's not Dale. It's not any of the major YouTubers you might think of, Fenn YouTubers, none of them. It's not, who are the people he knows? It's not Shiloh. It's not any of the usual suspects. This person, okay, I just want to get that. I want to move on from that person and get on to my next thing. Again, take it from me or not that this thing that's out there that I read, I really read it. The person, when asked to confirm, basically, I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, I have the documentation, but when it comes down to confirming it, or more to the point, confirming when exactly he knew everything he knew, the person refused to. But he just basically said, I'm not talking about it. This wasn't for you to know anyway. So, leave me alone or suffer the consequences, and I left him alone. Again, I'm making this very clear. I'm never going there. I'm never going anywhere near this guy's location or showing you any documentation, anybody. So let's just get over that. But my point is also, at the same time, this is not any of the usual suspects. It's no one you could probably think of offhand if you were thinking about the Forrest Fenn search community and people around Forrest Fenn. Okay? I know that's for some people, it's going to be a little, now you're starting to get them. I don't care. It's not important. It's not important. The main concept I'm trying to get through here today is, if Forrest Fenn told one or more people, because I happen to think if Forrest Fenn felt comfortable telling another person at a higher echelon, socioeconomically, if you will, about his location, thinking, this person has their own money, they've got a reputation they don't want to have. Hey, Bill. They have a reputation that they don't want to have sullied, they don't want to be the one that finked on Fenn, so to speak, which would really be what it would be. But again, they aren't finking on Fenn. This came to me, they did not intend for me to see this. Bill, what's going on? Do you want to go out, honey? You do. So you come in and then you want to leave. Okay. I want to make it very clear. Oh, so I'm sorry. So my point was what? My point was, if Fenn felt comfortable telling one person, assuming this is true, and I personally believe it's true, that Fenn told this person this, he might have told other people too. Again, he's talking to people that have potentially millions of dollars just like he does. They're living a different life, folks. It's not as important to them to go out and find a treasure chest that may, if it's worth $2 million, may end up after net $1 million. I mean, yes, of course, that's a lot of money. I'm not being silly here, but I'm just saying, you understand what I'm trying to say? If you have a really major reputation, you have a public reputation of any kind, and you're a multimillionaire, I think Fenn would think you're kind of a safe person to divulge information to. I would think. What's my point then, Eric? My point, Eric, is this. If Fenn told anyone about this over a 10-year period, what are the odds they told someone else? After all, I found out about this, right? Not going to get into the ins and outs of how that happened, but enough said. This guy said something he really shouldn't have said. He was told something in confidence, yet he tells someone about it. I think that could happen. Well, that happens all the time. How many times in your life have you been told a secret? Whether personally or at work, well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but so-and-so told me this, and this happened, and that's happening, and this going on in the parking lot, whatever. No one's supposed to know, but it's really, and he was seen with her at the bar. People tell all the time stuff they aren't supposed to tell. It seems to be a natural proclivity of the human brain. Not sure I used proclivity there, right? Doesn't matter. You know what I'm trying to say. If this secret got out along the line because Forrest Fenn could not keep his friggin' mouth shut, and we know Fenn loved to talk. Oh my God, the stories, many people have commented on the fact that Fenn loved an audience. Fenn just loved an audience. Really, of all the people you can think of, for him to keep a secret, he's probably one of the people you would think wouldn't be able to keep a secret. Let's face it, folks. Does anyone find it at all unusual that after 10 years, Fenn had told some people? He kept saying that thing about, well, if two people know a secret, one of them has to be dead, or, there's all this kind of, you can't trust anyone to keep a secret. Unless, they're no longer with us, then they won't keep the secret. Or no, then they will keep the secret. They're no longer with us. So if there's two people, you got to get rid of them to make sure that secret's never told. If someone down the line found out, and this is the crux of my entire proposition today to you about this unusual emotional divide I get between the Fenns and the Forrest Fenn and the Finder that existed before this Medium.com article by the writer who said they were the Finder, who made it out like, oh, me and Fenn are great friends. And Fenn wanted the location kept secret because he wanted it kept pristine. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Forrest Fenn said the Finder wanted it kept secret. Are they the same Finder? Is the writer the Finder? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? The point I'm trying to make is, what would it be like psychologically and emotionally to have the Finder show up, contact Fenn, and for Fenn to find out in the course of meeting this person, they actually got the information from someone else who told them the location? Right? This is purely speculative. This is purely an opinion. This entire thing's an opinion. And I'm not talking about this person who I read this thing about. I'm saying in general, because personally I don't believe this person that I'm talking about has anything to do with the treasure being found. Personally. I have no proof if they did anyway, but I just don't think they would, quite frankly. If for no other reason, then they wouldn't be talking about having been told where the treasure was. I mean, why would you say that if you were the Finder? It doesn't make any sense. Their concern is mainly, I think, with the reputation, which is understandable. So that's why we're never going to talk about this person as far as anything substantive. But what if Forrest Fenn had someone appear at their door one day and they said, "Hi, Mr. Fenn, here's the treasure. I found the treasure." And they sit down and have tea. And the guy, he goes, I got to tell you that I kind of found out where it was. And Forrest is like, what? And he goes, oh, yeah, well, Uncle Bill told me. And he had heard it from someone who works at some place that they knew you, or someone that knows you had told them, and you had told somebody. And Fenn's just probably sitting there going, what? And the guy's like, yeah, you remember that guy you told? Well, I kind of was told where it was. I mean, it fits the clues. I know it fits the clues because I've read the poem, and it all fits, and it's your treasure, and it is the treasure. And I was really kind of told where it was because of what you said. What a bind that would put Fenn in psychologically. How would he feel about this person? How would you feel about that person? They have found it. They have retrieved the treasure. They have found the treasure. They are the finder, but they found it because you ran your damn mouth. Do you like that person? What are you going to say? Put it back? Put it back? It's not fair the way you did it because I ran my own damn mouth? It makes me understand potentially why there's this divide between Forrest Fenn and the finder. If the finder actually was told or learned the location before he ever went out looking, or she, we don't know. I know this is for some people going to be a lot to digest, and you're going to go, holy shit. Well, that's what I went through 4 months ago when I first read this document. I went, holy shit. But again, that what I read back then did not tell me anything concrete about anything because there is no paper trail to anything as far as a find. It just opened up my mind to the possibility that Forrest Fenn, through the years, could have told people he knew where the treasure was. Why would he do that? I don't know, folks. Just wanting to get it out, just having it, wanting to tell someone you think you can trust. And then it didn't take long to realize that if Forrest Fenn actually had someone find the treasure because they were given inside information, what a quandary that would put him in emotionally and psychologically. Stress? Well, to know that a 10-year chase went on and was essentially compromised because you ran your own mouth. Keep in mind, folks, this isn't about someone else running their mouth. Forrest Fenn's ultimately the one. If you want to get mad at someone, I wouldn't get mad at someone if they were told about this and went out and got it. I wouldn't get mad at someone who Forrest Fenn told who let it slip to someone else. If you want to get mad at someone and put your anger in the right place, put it on Forrest Fenn, and then maybe if things got so weird at the end, maybe that is what happened. Forrest Fenn realized he blew the chase for everybody. Because that's essentially what he did. He blew it in the end for everyone. That's pretty heavy. That's a pretty big deal. Wow. Forrest Fenn couldn't keep his mouth shut. He told someone, and then along the line, someone that he told to probably told someone else, and maybe they told someone else, and then someone said, well, hell, I'm going to go out and get this damn thing. I can use $1 million after taxes or whatever it would be. And then they go to Forrest Fenn for whatever reason. You might say, well, why would they go to Forrest Fenn then? But maybe Forrest Fenn was going to pay him for that bracelet. Forrest Fenn robbed graves, folks. Let's remember who Forrest Fenn is. Forrest Fenn is not the little granddad with a twinkly blue eye who's, I want the kids to go out and be in nature and all that. That is part of who Forrest Fenn is. But remember, it's not who I am, it's who they think I am that's important. That was Forrest Fenn's favorite thing to say. It's not who you are that's important, it's who they think you are. There's a whole side to Forrest Fenn that I wasn't even aware of when I started looking for the treasure. I didn't know anything about the grave robbing and stuff. I don't think Forrest Fenn would be at all surprised if what I theorize happened if he in fact did tell people, which just from what I've seen, I believe he did tell people. Maybe this person was making up what they wrote, just trying to get a little bit of braggadocio out of their system. I just don't think so. They seem like a very sober, reputable person, so I think they just let the cat slip out of the bag. What's up, honey? What? Are you coming up? You want to come up? Are you coming up? You want to have involved conversation about it? Oh, Bill, never mind, folks. I think I've covered all the bases today. I know for some people they're going to be like, wow, this is really, yeah, I know, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's just something to think about, though, folks. It kind of makes sense to me in the long, yes, Bill, kind of makes sense to me in the long run why there would be this impasse, seeming impasse between the finder and the Fenn and his family afterwards. It just seemed to be something that people talked about. Why don't they ever acknowledge this guy in a positive way? Hey, honey. Come on. There's my baby. All right. Yes, honey. You're the cat that got out of the bag, aren't you? Someone let the cat slip out of the bag. Oh, it's Bill. Oh, you're such a goof. Oh, God, you're kind of in your own way. You're as bad as Tober is. What's up? You going outside again? Why are you in here? Folks, that's all I've got for you. Should be enough, right? Little psychology as to what may have been going on at the end of this whole thing. If that is true. If it is true. As someone I used to know, she would always say that. Whenever someone was doing gossip, this was at work, back when I worked. Whenever there was gossip, she would always say, if it's true. She'd always make sure she said that, which I thought was kind of a clever thing to do. I'll just remind us all, we never know. One more reason we need to get to the bottom of this, folks, as I think I said at the beginning of this series, I'm starting to get people, I'm not getting much of the solve stuff anymore. I'm getting people that are starting to be more serious and sober people. In that it's not so much about the chase as it is knowing what happened at the end of the chase. That's the way things are starting to be coming at me. Like, we want to know what really has happened here at the end. Again, I'm making this very clear. I don't think we're ever going to know, folks, unless something big happens. Someone's going to have to talk. Someone who knows something that Fenn told them. Hey, Tober. Someone's going to have to talk. Some of the inner circle, that if they know something, they got to talk. Someone's going to have to talk, or someone's going to have to investigate this thing on a real investigatory level, where they really go and they start interviewing people and all that kind of stuff. I will say before I go, someone did tell me they were reacting to something in one of my videos, forget exactly what it was. I think it was saying something along these lines. Jesus, now Tober's here. This whole thing has turned into it. And they said there is something going on in the background of an investigative nature, but they cannot talk about it, and it did not have to. What did they say? They said it was not a lawsuit oriented. That's right. They were responding to the Barb Anderson videos, the last ones I did. They said, just for your information, there is something going on in the background, but it's of an investigative level, but it is not lawsuit oriented. So he said there's kind of more than one way to get answers, and I was like, he didn't tell me what he's talking about. So that's interesting to know. Again, I just can't believe this thing's going to end after 10 years being a big fat zero as far as us knowing the truth about what happened. I just can't believe it. To the point where we literally do not know if the finder really exists, and we literally do not know the location. That would, if a year or 2 or 3 from now we're still all faced with that consequence, it's going to be something to deal with, isn't it? How could something like this go on for 10 years that captured the imagination of so many people and even the nation on a very, very small level? How could it end up? Well, it was all just something Forrest Fenn talked about, and it was written. He wrote books about it, and he got us out there, but in the end, we don't know any more than we knew at the beginning. That is going to be amazing. Everybody have a good time. Everybody have a good life. I hope everyone's doing well with the COVID. I think it looks like we're starting to just realize it's part of our lives and go out there and hammer through it. And, most most great vast majority of people that get it are virtually unaffected, or if they are sick in any way, they're going to recover, so that's good. Everybody have a good time, and come at you next time with something else. Either about Fenn or something else, I don't know. Have a good day.